In the soap opera world, it is common to recast characters with new actors. Some recasts take place due to actors' inconvenience to continue their work. Meanwhile, some recasts take place as the storyline demands it. YNR viewers may recall the show has had some major recasts in recent years, like that of Adam Newman and Phyllis Summers. However, there are also characters that were never or have never been recast to this date. Watch till the end for a complete rundown on characters that have had only one portrayer on YNR.
Hey everyone, welcome to Trend Street.
Created by William J. Bell, the character of Neil Winters was introduced to YNR viewers on Valentine's Day of 1991. Actor Christoph St. John originated the role, becoming the first ever African-American actor to grace the screen of the daytime show. He portrayed the role until he passed away in 2019. After Christoph's sudden death, the writers could have gone along to recast the role of Neil Winters, but considering the legacy that the actor held on the show, they decided otherwise. Neil Winters too was laid to rest, with the character passing away off-screen. His final episode aired on February 6, 2019, only 8 days shy of his 28th anniversary on the show. Up until this day, Christoph remains the longest-running black actor to star on YNR. The role of Fischer was also created by William J. Bell. The character was brought to Genoa City in April 1982 to play a one-day, one-line role. Most of you may not know this, but the character did not even have a name in the beginning. The name Esther was coined after Jean Cooper, the portrayer of Catherine Chancellor, called the name out of the blue during a taping while the cameras were rolling. Later, a nationwide contest was held to give the character a surname. Valentine and Diamond were two options that were the most picked by the public. Ultimately, Kate Linder, the portrayer of the character, decided to go with Valentine in honor of her real-life wedding anniversary. Linder was married to her husband, late Dr. Ronald L. Linder, on Valentine's Day of 1976. Since the time of the character's inception, Kate Linder remains the only actress to have portrayed the role. Interestingly, Linder has continued to serve as a flight attendant for United Airlines throughout her tenure at YNR. For her contributions, Linder was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She is the third actor to earn a star solely on the merits of acting on a soap opera. Eric Braeden made his debut on YNR, playing the role of Victor Newman in early 1980. Initially, the showrunners had hired him only to make a guest appearance. Reportedly, his first contract with YNR stated that his tenure at the show would last for a span of only 2 to 3 months. However, the character became an immediate hit among the viewers and Eric became promoted to series regular. Eric must have certainly been thrilled to have booked a long-term tenure at one of the biggest television shows. However, his journey as the mustache on YNR has not always been joyous. Back in the day, there was a time when Braeden felt dissatisfied by the way his character was portrayed on screen. I'd begun to sink into a depression, not over the work itself, but over what I perceived to be the lack of depth in the Victor Newman character. More and more, I felt I was playing a dehumanized man who could be cold, cruel, manipulative, and morally shrewd for no other reason than because he could. I didn't understand what on earth was driving this man, or as an actor what range there was to play in Victor Newman beyond his two most prominent qualities, charm and a megalomaniacal need for control. If that's all he was and all he was ever going to be, there wasn't enough substance there to inspire me to continue, let alone on a long-term basis, he wrote in his memoir. About 4 years after the actor debuted on YNR, the then head writer Bill Bell came up with a storyline that changed his perception of Victor forever. It was a Christmas storyline where Victor revealed to Nikki that he grew up in an orphanage. His mother had left him there when he was 7 years old after his drunken father abandoned them. Nicholas Nick Newman was first introduced in 1989 as the first child of Victor and Nikki Newman. Various child actors played the role of Nick until 1994 when the character was aged into a teenager. Actor Joshua Morrow took over the role in 1994 and has since been playing the role, aging simultaneously with the character. As of today, Joshua has been with Y&R for 26 years. Interestingly, Nick Newman is his debut as well as the only television role to this day. When Joshua first joined Y&R, he was offered a 3-year contract. Halfway through his second year, he was offered an extension. Like Eric, Joshua also went through a time when he had a second thought about his job. Looking back on that time now, Morrow said, "What was I thinking? This is the best job in the world outside of sports, which was my dream. There are times you question decisions, but this life that I've somehow earned, which I never feel I have, is the greatest thing that's happened to me." The Abbott matriarch Dina Abbott Mergeron is yet another character that had not been recast in her entire tenure at the show. Marla Adams originated the role in 1983 and remained with the show for 37 years until her character passed away on screen due to old age. The character had, however, been played by another actress, Kathy Marks, for scenes depicting the stories about the time when she was younger. J.T. Helstrom, a former series regular, was introduced to the viewers in 1999. The character left GC in 2010 and came back 7 years later, during which he was involved in a major storyline revolving around his missing and murder case. The former love interest of Victoria Newman was solely portrayed by Thad Luckenbill the entire time. While portraying on-screen lovers, Thad and Vicky's portrayer Amelia Hindley fell in love in real life as well and got married in 2007. Thad filed for divorce from her co-star turned wife in 2017, but reports claim that they are still together. Bryton James originated the role of Devon Hamilton in 2004. For more than 3 decades, the show had majorly been about soapy topics like love, lust, betrayal, rivalry, and power. The show decided to tell a story outside of its typical realm after the show's former star Victoria Rowell pitched the idea to the show's then head writers. Victoria wanted the show to be inclusive about real-life matters like the foster care system to shed light to the struggles of real-life foster children. Thus, Devon Hamilton, a teen foster care product, was created. Actor Bryton James was hired to play the role, and to this date he remains the only portrayer. Greg Ricart made his debut on Y&R playing the role of Kevin Fischer in 2003. Fischer was introduced as a series regular and was later dropped to recurring status. Nevertheless, the character has never been recast. From the beginning till now, Ricart remains the only actor to play the role of Kevin Fischer on Y&R. The role of Christine Blair was created by William J. Bell, the maker of Y&R. Bell's daughter Laura Lee Bell originated the role in 1983. Laura Lee was only 14 when she debuted on Y&R, and Christine Blair is the first ever role of her career. Initially brought in as a model, Blair was supposed to be on the show for a brief time. Bell was offered a contract extension in 1986, and over time her character has turned into a legal aid lawyer. Laura Lee was a prominent cast member in the past. However, in the past few years, she has been making recurring appearances. Christian LeBlanc originated the role of Michael Baldwin on Y&R in 1991. He departed the show 2 years later but returned in 1997. Since then, he has been making recurring appearances with his character working as a lawyer for other prominent characters on the show. Once in 2005, Baldwin had a brief crossover on another CBS soap opera As the World Turns, where he served as an attorney for Kin Schreiner's character Keith Morrissey. It made him the first Y&R character to have a crossover appearance on As the World Turns. However, it wasn't the first time that Christian had appeared in that show. From 1983 to 1985, he played the role of Kirk McCall on the show. Kane Ashby is a former character on the show, which was portrayed by Australian actor Daniel Goddard. The actor had initially auditioned for the role of Brad Snyder on As the World Turns. He could not get the role, but the senior vice president at the show recommended him to Y&R's then head writer and executive producer Lynn Marie Latham. He eventually booked the role of Kane Ashby on Y&R. The character was solely portrayed by him up until his departure in October 2019. Tracy Abbott is one of the characters that have been on the Y&R canvas for a very long time. Actress Beth Maitland portrayed the role in 1982 and has since been playing the role until this day. When Tracy was first created, the writers had planned it to be a short-term role that would have lasted 2 to 3 months. However, Maitland's impressive performance earned her a contract from the show. Maitland first received a 5-year contract with the show, following which the contract was extended. She was a series regular until the mid-90s, and since then she has been making recurring appearances. Once in 2007, Tracy had a crossover appearance on Y&R's sister soap The Bold and the Beautiful. Although the role has never been recast, a child actress Valentina Sky Gordon was hired in 2018 to play the younger version of the role. Melissa Claire Egan originated the role of Chelsea Lawson in 2011. Introduced as a bad girl, the character eventually developed into a loving person. In January of 2018, Daytime Confidential reported that Melissa would not be renewing her contract with the show, following which Melissa herself took to social media to announce her departure. However, the door was left open for her to return. Ultimately, in mid-2019, she did make a comeback. She has since been playing a significant role in the show.
Thank you for checking this video out. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for new videos every day. Turn that bell notification on if you want to hear from us, and comment down below if you've subscribed, and we'll make sure to reply and thank as many of you as we possibly can.